Two old guys that ain't taking their crap no more. You're listening to Earl and George.
Welcome back to another episode of Earl and George, a weekly wrap-up show where we are supposed to talk about politics, but our highest-rated show so far was about moonshine.
Yes, it was. Most downloaded, too.
Well, last week, of course, I was broadcasting. By the way, my name is George.
And my name is Earl.
And Mr. Producer's in there with that scary look on his face like, I hit this one, right?
No. No. Honestly, man, when I get focused, I get this blank stare on my face, and I'm just kind of like...
Which, that's why you're awesome, because you're like laser beam focused on it.
I try to be.
So,
but, I mean, sometimes I have off days. But
last week, I was broadcasting from a walk-in closet on a mountaintop in Tennessee. My daughter actually got injured.
Oh, no.
In the so she played a college soccer game on Thursday, drove to Tennessee, ran a 5K on Friday night, got up at 4 o'clock in the morning to run a half marathon on Saturday morning.
Wow.
Ran 9 miles of the half marathon, and her calf seized up.
Oh, man.
Yep.
That sucks.
But she finished. She walked the last 4.2 miles. And she finished the race. So she got the Black Bear double. And by the way, if you want to know why we do this every year, it's part of Vacation Races. If you go to vacationraces.com, you can look it up. And then they do this thing called the National Park Races. So they do all the great national parks across the country. They do marathons and half marathons. And the majority of the money that you pay to do the races goes to the national parks.
There you go.
To help them stay clean and don't feed the bears and build new signs and roads and picnic tables and so on.
But aren't our taxes supposed to do that?
A portion of our taxes are supposed to do that, and I think a portion of our taxes do. But so that's what's going on.
Well,
so, coming up on today's show, the new iPhone X, the new iPhone 10.
Yeah.
We have to, come on, it's news. It happened this week.
We're sitting here with Apple products. We got to talk about it.
I'm an Apple fanboy. I readily admit I'm an Apple fanboy. So the iPhone X, the iPhone 10, was not impressed, man.
Nope,
I was not impressed.
Me neither.
I watched the keynote. I was hoping they would show more about the iMac Pro, though. I would have gotten kind of behind that one.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking forward to the new iOS 11. But we'll talk about that later in the show. We had the new iPhone 10. We'll talk about that because we're both tech nerds.
Yeah.
Let's see. I just had a Sloppy Joe, so I'm scared I'm going to burp and Sloppy Joe's going to go everywhere. I just had a wicked good Sloppy Joe. Have charities ruined your grocery store experience? See, that's just an open question.
Right. I think I've read.
Look at Mr. Producer's like, what are you talking about?
what?
Okay, so when I go to the grocery store now, you can't go shopping for, remember when we were kids, it was like gallon of milk, loaf of bread, stick of butter, right?
Yeah.
You can't go shopping for the essentials without every grocery store saying, would you like to donate to fill in the blank?
Right.
It doesn't have to be a natural disaster. The Hurricane Harvey, Hurricane Irma, a tsunami in Indonesia, a bee sting down the block. I mean, I don't know what it is. It's constant. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm simply asking the question. Has anyone other than me noticed that every time you go to the grocery store, they're now asking you, and of course, I have a giving heart, so my answer is always yes.
Right.
But see, now Walmart got smart. Walmart got smart. So now they have you can donate $1, $2, $5, or any amount you want.
Huh.
And they're like, so what amount would you like to give? See, now they have to ask you. You've got to be now actively engaged in it. And that's the part that's ruined my experience. So if I just say yes, drop $1 on there, okay? Drop $2, whatever.
Right.
Would you like to donate $1? Don't give me the option of saying yes. Just say yes or no. Here's how much it is. Would you like to donate $1 to March of Dimes? Yes, I would. Right? Now, do they have people that go through Walmart and they're like, would you like to donate to whatever relief? Yes, I would. How much? $50,000. Just take it right off my card.
Wow.
Does anyone do that? No, they should just make it $1.
Yeah.
Right? If we can fund a $120 million school on a penny, imagine what we could do on it. Would you like to donate $1? Yes or no? I think they would get a much higher percentage of yeses if it was $1, not $5.
Right.
Now, number 3, coming up on today's show, Climate denial is now potentially a crime in Canada.
In Canada? Wow.
How long before climate denial is a crime in the United States?
Oh, days.
Days.
Yep, it'll follow Canada by days.
Days.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't want to answer that. I appreciate the FaceTime call. Thank you very much. And, of course, Chelsea Manning is back in the news.
For very good reasons, though.
That's an ugly chick. Can I just say?
Yes, indeed.
He is he makes he makes, I don't know, whatever. But, pardoned by Obama.
Which shouldn't have been done.
You and I paid for his gender reassignment.
Yep.
Now, who's this?
Chelsea Manning. Used to be Bradley Manning, the person who apparently gave WikiLeaks a bunch of classified information.
The reason WikiLeaks is anything is because of Manning giving them half of the information they've got on Clinton and everything else. I mean, the first major WikiLeaks scandal that came out was because of Manning. And he was actually put into prison for, was it espionage charges?
Was in Leavenworth. Not on treason. It wasn't treason, but it was something like that. Formerly Bradley Manning. Yeah, so we'll talk about that. Convicted of espionage. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Have you seen what's going on in Louisville?
Yeah.
I mean, not St. Louis. St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah, I saw as I was getting ready to leave, I saw them doing a quick news blip about it.
By the way, my TV's off, Mr. Producer. I just, I'm doing a radio show, so I can't really walk over there and mash the button. I need to. Intern! Where's our intern?
We have those.
By the way, the Galaga broke yesterday.
Yes, I heard that.
So I had a guy come into this radio station yesterday. By the way, if you don't know, we have Galaga in our lobby. Yes, it's the coolest office.
Along with
it's the coolest office in America.
Several other throwbacks.
Does the TV even work?
Yeah, you gotta walk over here, and mash the button. That's the Charter remote.
Well, I don't know. Some of the remotes are universal.
They are not an advertiser, so that just kind of.
Watch that. Watch. I got this. I got this. Watch. I'm a racing. I'm gonna beat you.
What just happened?
We got a new highest rated show all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Okay then.
So so in 2011, right? White cop shoots black guy, riots ensue. Right. 6 years later, acquitted, riots ensue.
Right.
Yeah. What are we supposed to do?
Well, I don't agree with the acquittal, but the reason people are we talking about it now, or are we gonna talk about it?
Let's talk about it.
Okay. Well, the thing with the case is people are thinking that a jury has acquitted the man, and it wasn't. He waived his right to a jury trial, so it was It was a bench trial.
Yep.
And the judge had to go on the absolute merit of law, because in his decision he even says that it upsets him that this is how he has to rule, but because of the rule of law, he had to side with the law. People don't care about that anymore.
Can I just say, this guy has the most brilliant lawyer ever.
Right.
Like, he knew if it went to a jury of his peers, if it went to a jury of his peers, he'd be convicted.
Yeah, being in St. Louis too.
But waiving his right to a jury trial left it in the hands of three? Was it three?
Yeah.
Judges. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You took the number from 13 to 3.
Right.
And 13 civilians would have trouble ruling on the law and getting past the news articles.
And the recording of him actually saying he's going to kill this blank.
The judges have to follow the law. Let me read the article to you. It's very fascinating. Violent protests broken out in St. Louis, Missouri after former police officer Jason Stockley was found not guilty of murdering Anthony Smith in 2011 after a high-speed chase during a suspected drug deal. 4 officers have been injured. 1 police car has been vandalized. Protesters have been pepper sprayed for attempting to block police travel. Police blocked protesters from getting on a major highway, so they marched to the police headquarters. Local businesses have been closed, sent employees. Okay. Stockley and his partner attempted to arrest Smith during a suspected drug deal. Smith fled, and a chase ensued that reached speeds of 90 miles an hour through local neighborhoods. Officers stopped Smith by ramming his vehicle, and Stockley, believing Smith had a concealed weapon, shot him 5 times. He dead.
Yeah.
Handgun and a bag of heroin were found in the vehicle. The handgun only had Stockley's DNA on it. The heroin had Smith's DNA on it.
Yeah. So, see, right there, the jury would have said that the gun was planted.
They said it was, yeah, right. Why was Stockley accused of premeditated murder? Tone?
I was turning down the tone on my phone.
Actually, you know what? No. What I'm saying is, you know what? This would be a great time to test if I have the tone. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. But look, we're gonna do some fancy magic here. So you're exactly right. Let's talk about that while I do this. A jury. I'm gonna log into that machine real quick. Okay, don't touch it. So you made a great point that only the police officer's DNA was found on the gun.
Which that's what made me go, what? When the facts were coming out. Because, of course, I was ready to riot, too.
A jury would have...
they couldn't have got past that. There's no way they could have gotten past it.
Right.
Because, again, in our current society, cops are the bad guys. So there's no way to explain why that cop's fingerprints would have been all over that gun in a jury's mind.
Yeah.
So
the thing about the jury trial, they could not have looked at it objectively and said, that's not planted. The guy had the gun, but it was already cleaned. And then how do the cops, the lawyers were brilliant not to put this to a jury trial.
Right.
I mean, it was really, really smart. Now, here's the magic. You ready? I'm about to freak him out.
No, you're not going to freak me out.
Bang. Look at that. Look at this. Magic is happening. Magic is happening. Because I'm logged into his machine and is that mine? No, that's mine. This is his. This is his over here. This is great radio, by the way. I just want to say this is fantastic radio.
Well, you got some new toys, if I'm not
mistaken.
Man. So
dude, I'm logging. I'm doing file transfer. I'm the man.
You're doing a file transfer.
Yeah, he is.
I am.
Yeah, he is.
Yesterday, I got to tell you about yesterday. Anyway, we'll talk about it off the air. So by going to a bench trial, Stockley waived his right to a jury trial, and his case was decided by Judge Timothy Wilson. Quote, the court, as the trier of fact, is simply not firmly convinced of defendant's guilt. Agonizingly, this is still quoting the judge, agonizingly, this court has pored over the evidence again and again. This court, in conscience, cannot say that the state has proven every element of murder beyond a reasonable doubt, or that the defendant did not act in self-defense, the judge said.
Right. I misquoted him and said that he was upset. It was agonizingly that was the word he used, which, again...
That actually impacts a more potent statement, you know what I mean? Right.
Like he wanted to convict him.
Yeah.
They wanted to convict the guy.
And they should have, but the fact that it, by law, was not proven by the state failed to produce their case. They didn't prove their case.
So what, did they not have enough evidence or something? Is that what it boils down to?
The evidence is outstanding. The state just didn't put on enough of a case.
Could you explain it a little bit further?
Okay, there are several parts to the story. One of the parts is during the police chase, the cop that actually shot the man was quoted on camera as saying, "I'm going to kill this N-word."
Yeah, he did it. He got it.
It was it was N-word.
Yeah.
And then the evidence also showed that he shot him 4 times, and then the 5th shot was actually at point-blank range, execution style.
Really?
Yep.
So
in that same article you're reading is where I got that.
But I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah.
I mean, how did it not?
And that's what I was about to read. That's what I was about to read was why was he accused of premeditated murder? Prosecutors accused Stockley of planting a weapon in Smith's vehicle after the fact.
Which is why his fingerprints were on it.
During the chase, Stockley was heard in the in-car camera saying, quote, he was, quote, going to kill this, right? And it just says expletive, so let's make sure we get the word right here. It was the N-word?
Yeah, it was the N-word.
Okay.
Because there was another national people that played the video. So.
And it says, don't you know it?
Yeah.
Right? Where he, quote, going to kill this, don't you know it? Prosecutors said Stockley shot Smith 4 times, quickly, then shot him, quote-unquote, execution style. Now,
at close range.
Yeah, but execution style
It's like at the back
behind
of your head.
him though.
Well,
It's behind him.
Back of your head, yeah.
If you're in China, it's in the front. China executed
Well,
people.
I don't like the term they quote. That's a judgment. That's an opinion. And in law, you don't have opinions. You have facts. So,
well, when we execute military people back in the day, we shot them forward facing.
Yeah, that's different. You see, now we're trying to define execution style. That's why it's not. That's why it's an opinion, not a point of fact of law. So, I mean, the guy.
Oh, I see what you're
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's in the opinion of the court. The court's allowed to have opinions, but the attorneys they need to argue fact.
Right.
Right.
And like I said, the state is what failed on this case, and I
Yeah.
feel sorry for the guy. Nobody's denying the fact that the man had drugs. Even the records prove that he had drugs. But I feel sorry for his family because clearly this
He had
cop,
a bag of heroin.
right? But clearly this cop kind of went beyond his means to take this suspect down.
Shot him.
Yeah.
Shot him dead.
Don't you know it?
We'll be right back. It's Earl and George. It's aged conservative talk. You can join us on Twitter, on Spreaker, on SoundCloud. We're live right now. You can call us, but the phone system was acting weird this morning. But go ahead and you can hit us up on Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff.
And YouTube.
And now YouTube. Sweet. You can call us or just wait around for a couple minutes, and we'll be right back. It's Earl and George. Aged conservative talk. Don't go anywhere.
Organizing an estate sale can be a trying time, requiring a sensitive touch. CK Estate Sales is a family-oriented group of professionals using a wide range of resources and experience to research the fair market value for your items so you don't have to. They respectfully display your items with care and connect you with buyers so that your prized possessions find new homes. Daunted by the task of organizing an estate sale? CK Estate Sales, 205-907-6948, or ckestatesales.com to view a list of all their upcoming sales.
Hey, you, over yonder. You're listening to Earl and George.
Well, apparently.
Well, if you ever wanted to know what happens on our local feed, there you go. Those of you listening around the country,
Might want to know what that was about.
that's what happens. For all of our affiliates that are playing the show,
Sorry.
yeah, we'll fix it later. Like I said,
My bad.
today's one of those train wreck days because literally I sat down at like 10 minutes to 12, or 10 minutes at the top of the hour wherever you are. Here in Central Time in Alabama, it is just after 12 o'clock. So I wanted to talk about, again, this is one of those shows where we just kind of wrap up everything. If you still want to talk about the acquittal and the riots going on in St. Louis, send us a text message on Facebook. You can also, reach us 900 different ways. Right. I put something out on our Facebook page a couple days ago about Hurricane Jose.
Yep.
Because when Hurricane Harvey slammed into Texas, every liberal in America was like, see,
Global warming.
right, global warming, see. And then Hurricane Irma basically just cuts a swath right through Florida and up in Georgia and Alabama, and all the liberals are like, see, it's global warming, big superstorm is going to kill everybody.
Al Gore was everywhere.
Hurricane Jose has decided not to hit the United States of America. Does that mean global warming's over?
How dare he?
Like what?
Right?
And they're like, when was the last time we saw 3 storms going on? You got Katia over here and Harvey and her. And I was like, 2011?
Yeah, ish. Somewhere around there.
Like, it's just the weather. I keep explaining this to people, the difference between climate and weather. And then of course, then they start to change the argument. We're going to talk about changing the argument a little bit later in the show. Ben Shapiro, by the way, a good friend of mine, but he's too busy to come on the show. I've actually asked him to come on the show. He's like, dude, I'm too busy, right?
Wow.
And I'm going to keep asking him. I'm just going to keep texting him and be like, Ben. He'll finally go, fine.
I'll give you 10 minutes.
Yeah, you get 10 minutes.
From the bathroom.
But like everybody's freaking out. Yeah, that's what it will be too. How you been? Fine, good. Okay, got to run. Oh no, I got to. And he was in Berkeley, so that's even better.
Yeah.
So he's, thumbing the nose up at all the Antifa people. What the heck was I talking about? So anyway, they're all freaking out about it, right? About the storms. And I've tried this over and over and over. And, we know one of the smartest meteorologists on the planet right now.
Yep.
And he has this huge weather blog. His name is James Spann. Okay? 2 N's. Everybody in the country needs to look up James Spann. He is the most knowledgeable meteorologist on television. Guy's been doing it since he could walk. It's all he ever wanted to do.
Yeah,
right?
He's got his own show, too, called Weather Brains.
The guy's fantastic.
Yeah.
If you want
Weather
to...
Brains?
Weather Brains.
Yeah, Weather Brains. He and his son actually do it together.
Huh.
And he's got a podcast, a show. He's got a website.
Like 10 other meteorologists on there with him.
He is not, by the way, a paid sponsor of this show. He's just guy knows his stuff.
He's a good meteorologist.
Go read what he says about global warming. It's not difficult. Oh, he's not a climate scientist. Meteorologist. He's a weatherman on TV. Meteorologist. Right?
Yeah, nationally recognized meteorologist.
Oh, the guy's brilliant. The guy's a genius. Go read what he says about global warming. Now, since Jose missed the United States or decided to hang a right, because it's going up the coast.
Right. Possibly could still hit the East Coast, though.
How? Oh, that's what they're going to say.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to feel the effects of global warming.
Right.
Jose going to hit, New Jersey. They'll feel it's global warming. I swear that's how they sound to me, man. They're like cartoons to me. Oh, by the way.
Is it almost like
and Eddie.
Oh, by the way.
Whoa, you know that show?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
By the way.
I got kids.
I can say this on national radio. You know the guy that walked into my office and said, "Looks like you conservatives in Texas got what you deserve."
Yeah.
They fired him.
Oh, dude.
That's
they
good.
fired him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just because of that or some other something?
See ya! Don't let that door hit you on the way out, bro! Looks like you got what you deserved!
Right.
I was like, I've never been so happy about another human being losing their job. I swear, I'm usually like, oh, man, I'm sorry. This guy, I'm like, whoop, whoop, see ya. I'm giving him the thumb, like, fist bump. Oh, sorry, yeah. Too soon? Right?
No, you got to do the fist bump and then just, comb your hair.
Psych!
Exactly,
I have, like, no compassion for this. I mean, literally, my wife's like.
That's pretty evil.
I
mean, like, not in you, but like the actual statement.
You know what? I'm going to throw something out. Empty water bottle. That's for you.
Why? I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about them.
Yeah, it was for him. It was for you. Said I was evil.
No. I said no. That other dude who actually said that statement.
It's bad that I have my own sound effects now.
It's pretty bad now. It's gonna.
You mean that piece of? Oh, wrong one. Oh wow, I like that one.
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
I got all kinds of good ones now. See, that's the fun part is I don't have to wait on him.
Right.
I can be like, that guy lost his job. This is dangerous. Letting the host have their own sound effect. Why did I do this? This is bad.
It's fun though, ain't it?
Oh yeah, it's totally fun. Is my capuchin monkey on? My capuchin monkey's on here. This is my favorite sound effect.
Really?
This one.
Whatever happened to the llama sound effect?
It's where's my llama? Where's my llama?
Gone.
Oh man, somebody took my llama off here.
Oh, just do it.
Oh, this one right here. This one. Why is it taking so long?
Do it.
It's like
Shia LaBeouf.
Hang on, I gotta edit that. I get it.
It's got a little bit of dead space in the beginning.
Yeah, not anymore.
Oh, there you go.
Done. Fixed.
Do it.
Make your dreams.
Just
do it. All right. Anyway, sorry, we got off track there. Yeah, I put this in here so that the hosts of the shows can use their own sound effects,
right.
And it's probably a bad idea. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the luckiest kid in America.
And why the liberals are trashing him
Oh, I
now.
got both of those stories, man. The luckiest kid in America. We'll talk about them next. And also coming up, Ben Shapiro's a genius and the iPhone 10. All yet to come on Earl and George. Go out to Facebook, like our page, share it. Earl will send you $1.
No, he won't.
We'll be right back.
Let's go inside the mind of a 10-year-old.
I should have worn earrings today.
Buckle up, Sarah.
Michaela's got like the best earrings.
Sarah, buckle up.
I wish my name was Michaela.
We're not hitting the road until you buckle up, honey.
Oh yeah, seatbelt. I wonder if there's pizza at school today.
It can be tough getting through to kids, but it's your job to make sure they're wearing your seatbelts. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You're bringing your daughter to a pop concert. Do you A, wear earplugs?
Isn't this fun, Dad?
I have a soft pretzel.
Or B, just roll with it?
Justin! OMG! I love you, Justin! I love you!
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Mama always said that if you keep playing with it, it'll fall off. You're listening to Earl and George. Doggone right.
You know, when my book is released, I'm going to be counting on Amazon to delete all the negative comments.
Right.
Just saying. I mean, they did it for Hillary Clinton. They could do it for everybody else, right?
They did it for what's that comedian? That female comedian too. She had a special out. That was
that
on,
one.
Yeah,
Griffin,
Amy
Kathy.
Schumer.
Okay,
they did it for her too.
Really?
Yeah, because everybody was saying that it was the worst comedy thing they had ever seen, so they deleted all those because they don't want. You know, she's the poster child of liberalism for comedians now, so they don't want her being bashed.
But I mean, it's still kind of funny.
Hey, speaking of that,
you just gotta take it, and you can't really just be like. You know what I mean?
I think negative reviews are good things, but that's just me.
Well, they say any press is good press.
Did you see? Hang on, let me see if I can pull this up real quick.
Dude, we need Jeopardy music.
Let me see if I can find the YouTube of it.
There we go.
No, I was listening to the radio and I found the Jim Carrey thing. Did you hear that?
Oh yeah. Was it the one where he was going weird on the?
No, it's not that one. It's the so because he, I haven't read the whole article about him, but there's something going on with him, like depression and all this other stuff. I mean, the guy's made his money, but
right.
I've read a couple of places where you said
okay, that's not what I want. Jim Carrey.
He's a painter now. He paints like.
No, that's not it.
Constantly. Couldn't find the word.
Jim Carrey.
Was that the thing? Room filled with convicts. Yeah, this is it. So I want to find. Okay, I think this is it right here. I'm gonna try. I got to turn the sound down just there. Hold on. Let's just listen to this.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm really happy to be part of this. This is a part of me, and thank you. I'd like to say thank you to Father Greg and his gigantic heart.
Okay, let's skip a little forward here.
There's hardly room for any of us in here with his heart. And I want to speak to the fact that I believe that this room is filled with God.
With God?
And,
right, yeah.
And that you are heroes to me, and I admire you.
Listen to that.
Because when you step through these doors, you decide to be a part of this family, you've made a decision.
The room's filled with convicts.
And to leave darkness behind. And it takes a champion to make that decision. And I really want to speak to the fact that I've had some challenges in the last couple of years myself. And ultimately, I believe that suffering leads to salvation. And in fact, it's the only way.
Jim Carrey, everybody.
We have to somehow accept, and not deny, but feel our suffering and feel our losses, and then we make one of two decisions. We either decide to go through the gate of resentment, which leads to vengeance, which leads to self-harm.
Okay, when I first heard this, I was like, I was like, it leads to fear. Fear leads to the dark side. I was like, Jim Carrey. I didn't really know where he was going.
Right.
I was like, he's gonna do a Yoda quote here. But listen to this.
Which leads to harm to others, or we go through the gate of forgiveness, which leads to grace. And your being here is an indication that you've made that decision already.
Here it comes.
You've made the decision to walk through the gate of forgiveness to grace, just as Christ did on the cross.
Dude.
He suffered terribly, and he was broken by it to the point of doubt and a feeling of absolute abandonment.
Wow.
Is that incredible?
Wow.
What's going on in Hollywood?
Trump.
It's amazing that, and by the way, Jim Carrey is absolutely right. We all have a choice, right?
Yep.
And by the way, it's not a one-time deal.
No.
You get to make that choice many, 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 many times.
Yes.
From someone who has made the choice, and then like, I'm going this way again.
Right.
And then I come back and go, sorry about that. Sorry about that, Lord. We could try it again. And he's like, okay.
One day at a time.
Literally, like I was having a really tough conversation with a friend of mine last week who is going through some serious stuff. Not me. He's going through some serious stuff. And I looked at him and I was like, I know the demons that live within me. I know them by name.
Right.
Like I know who I am. And the person that I am with family, friends, and all these other is not the person that I was. Right? And I think Jim Carrey has turned that corner. I think Jim Carrey has figured out that he had a choice to make, and he's made it. Now, Earl and I are both believers, and to hear that from somebody who, 5 years ago was talking about atheism and how stupid we are and da-da-da, all this other stuff,
is amazing.
That is to us, saying the words miraculous conversion.
Right.
Jim Carrey is saved.
To understand the salvation the way he was talking about it, I would venture to say that he is now.
Or he's a very good actor.
Right. Well, I've seen some of his movies, some of his serious movies.
I'm telling you, I think he's turned the corner. I think he's made an actual decision. I was stunned when I heard that, by the way.
Yeah.
I thought it was phenomenal.
I wonder if his ex-girlfriend committing suicide had anything to do with it.
Again, he's been through a significant depression.
Right.
He's been through a significant transition in his life. And, all things are used by God for his purpose. Yeah. And,
got a break to be built back up.
Yep. And
well, that's the same thing, is the whole moth thing, you can go and cut a little, you see a moth that's trying to get out of the cocoon, you can cut it a little bit and then it'll fly off, but it won't be strong enough to survive. So you got to let it sit there and struggle to get out of the cocoon to be strong enough to actually live.
Yep.
So
that's how my kids were born. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Wow. Okay.
Hauled themselves out.
So you were part insect.
Get out of my way, everybody. I'm coming through.
They're going to kill you.
An 11-year-old Virginia boy recently wrote a letter to President Donald
story.
Trump asking if he could come mow the lawn at the White House on Friday.
How big is the yard?
That's got to be pretty
big.
It
a couple of acres.
I don't know. I'm going to go fly my drone over the White House and measure it and see what the Secret Service says.
Watch them shoot it down.
White House officials tweeted a photo of Frank. I'm going to butcher your name, Frank. It's Giaccio. Is it Giaccio?
That's how I would say
Giaccio?
Italian?
It's Giaccio. I'm going to go with Giaccio. Frank Giaccio of Falls Church, Virginia, as he was, quote, hard at work mowing the lawn Friday morning. Look at they're tweeting it out. There's the president. He's out there mowing the lawn. Trump came out to greet him while he was working. He says, wow, great job, Frank. Frank kept working, but eventually stopped to shake hands with the president. Trump asked Frank if he would like to, what he would like to do when he grows up.
I love this.
You ready? He says, I want to be a Navy SEAL.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I'm talking about.
Notice he didn't say Ranger.
Look, I'm okay with Navy SEAls, man. I'm okay with that. It's second best to the Green
Go
Beret.
Navy.
Navy
Oh,
SEALs are tough.
yeah. Green Berets. Oh, yeah.
Well, I've worked with a lot of Navy SEAls. Okay, I take nothing away from the SEAls. I'll tell you about that offline. So,
18 acres, by the way.
the guy, this kid, man, that's motivation, man.
Right.
That's no joke. This kid wants to be a Navy SEAL. That's the kid that's going to do it.
Yep.
He's got his head in the game, and he knows work. Trump went on to say that Frank will be very famous. He's going to be a Navy SEAL someday. He's going to do great things for our country. He called his work perfect before and offered to bring him into the Oval Office. Maybe he'll be president, even, Trump said.
Right.
However,
what did the left have to say?
However, here's the article that you're referring to. President Trump was accused of breaking child labor laws on Friday
God.
after the White House let an 11-year-old Virginia boy assist in cutting the White House lawn.
So we should just say that if you ever go on to the White House at all and you're underage, then, because I mean anyone who
if you're working is
well,
what
I understand, but the whole thing is that's pretty much just visiting the White House. I mean, there's a lot of people nowadays that probably wouldn't want to go to the White House, but I mean, a lot of people would want to go to the White House just to meet the president, and they'd probably and that kids included. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of this whole.
Frank's story went viral Friday, mostly because it was super cool, feel-good story, right, Mr. Producer?
Yep.
It's an awesome story.
Yes, it is.
With all the negative news in the press these days, who doesn't love a story about a young boy wanting to cut the lawn at the White House and meeting the president and doing so? I
ain't got a problem with it.
Okay, Gary Langham from Twitter, impeach him. Trump violates child labor laws for photo op. Casey Thomas Snyder, yeah, I'll name you. Okay, stupid is stupid. Still employing child labor even at the White House. Guess it's not limit to 6-year-olds that make his and Ivanka's clothes. Paul, doesn't put his last name. White House advocates unpaid child labor. Oh, 99 Morning Coffee. Got to find out who that guy is. That sounds like a radio show to me. We got to find this jerk. So the kid is taking away some adult's full-time job? How is that? God.
Well, it's not that's ridiculous.
You think the groundskeeper at the White House was like, oh, sweet, a day off. We need to get more 6-year-olds in here to push lawnmowers.
That's a ridiculous argument because he only did the Rose Garden, which is, by the way, a huge honor to be able to do that. But the groundskeeper had to show him how he wanted it, because if you watch the video of the kid actually mowing the grass, you can see that he is going through a pattern that he was memorized or that he had memorized to make it look good, because he knew the entire country was going to be watching. And if he'd have messed up, could you imagine what they'd have been saying on the left too? Like, oh, yeah, this is what we get for letting a 11-year-old mow the grass or whatever. It's ridiculous. Diseased scum.
Cancel. Okay.
Tangent.
Let's see. Not sending a great signal on child labor, minimum wage, and occupational safety. Trump White House lets 10-year-old volunteer mow its lawn. How is the White House paying an underage boy to work with power equipment that could hurt him?
They're not paying him. He volunteered.
Okay, wait a minute. Even when I was a kid, I mean, we cut the grass.
Well, we're in the South. They don't do that everywhere.
Dude, I'm 10 years old. I had one of those old sickles that the Grim Reaper carries around.
Man, I had samurai
scything all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. You were raised correctly.
My brother and I. Oh, dude, you want to talk about? Oh no,
and...
I got to tell you about parenting done right. You ready? I got to show you this video. Hang on. By the way, you guys are not going to be able to see this on the radio. You're not going to be able to hear this. You might be able to hear it, but this is parenting done right. Just FYI. No, I need to go to photos. Wrong one. Photos. Check it. Ready? Look at that. You know who that is? It's my youngest daughter.
What is she singing?
Singing karaoke at my favorite sports bar. Oh, you want to drive liberals crazy? Take your 17-year-old to a sports bar and let her sing karaoke. Come on, hit me with the Twitter hates.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Look, for these idiots on Twitter to be talking about the kid getting paid, even CNN reported that he waived his fee.
Yeah, he volunteered to do it, which is fine. Fair Labor Standards Act, which includes child labor laws, says that children under 14 can work chore-like jobs, including lawn care. The laws also outline a laundry list of other jobs young teenagers can work, as long as the work, quote, is safe and does not jeopardize their health, well-being, or educational opportunities. Quote, the job is fair game. So good on Frank for embracing the American spirit and a solid work ethic at such a young age.
Right.
I wonder if all the liberal kids,
no
parents who have liberal parents, what do they do? Who mows your lawn? Wait, you know what? You probably hired an illegal alien to do it.
Right.
Right? Oh, I said illegal alien is more.
Or they live in a Section 8 housing complex where convicts mow their yard.
Oh, yeah, they have no problem with that. Yeah, I think it's a great story, and of course we knew the liberals are going to go insane.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Good on the Frank.
Child labor laws.
And there were people watching him, too. It's ridiculous.
I mean, he's wearing safety equipment. He's wearing gloves and goggles.
Right. And he probably doesn't even do that at home.
Wow. It's amazing to me. And they'll find anything. And I mean anything.
I was sitting there, and I was like, I can't believe they're even going to go down this road.
We're going to stay on the disease liberal mind when we come back, because our friend Ben Shapiro destroys this college student in Berkeley.
Yes.
We've got the audio of it when we come back on Earl and George.
Listen, as a hiring manager, I've got to tell you, the best job candidate isn't always the typical candidate. Sometimes they're a grad of life.
Meet the grads of life. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Sometimes the best candidates aren't the ones you're used to.
Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
You know you're in the South when everyone calls you darling or hun or sweetheart and you don't care. You're listening to Aged Conservative Talk. Earl and George.
Aged Conservative. I love her, by the way. We got to get her to do some more. So we want to thank all of you guys for tuning in, listening live on Spreaker, sharing with your friends and family, downloading our mobile app from iTunes, subscribing to the podcast on iTunes. My goodness, Stitcher is still growing. Stitcher's coming through for us, right?
Yep, Stitcher's doing it fantastic.
Man, I mean, there's just so many things going on. I think the show's growing so fast, like faster than you thought it would.
Yeah, definitely. And I was going to tell you, the last week's episode, guess where it was more popular? What country do you think was
Did we not say hello to our friends in Japan?
No, we didn't today.
Was it Japan?
No. It was actually a new country that popped up.
Israel.
No.
In this case, I'm 192. Okay, there's 192 to go.
Jamaica.
I'll just say the topic of the show mostly was about moonshine.
North Korea.
So there's only two. You only got two real guesses about
Ireland
drinking. No,
or Scotland.
That's what my wife said.
Ireland. I was trying to...
It was Germany.
Really?
Germany actually downloaded our app. 8 different people in
Congratulations.
Germany. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
But the Germans,
we don't have a German version.
The Germans listened to us. It was 172 times.
Well, if you want some good moonshine, you can come to my office or go to Tennessee. You had 2 choices. Yeah, we had a good time last weekend, man. We had a really, really good time. It was fun. Did I tell you I almost crashed the drone?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Wait. I saw a picture
I did.
Where you said darn trees or something.
I flew it into a tree. It didn't actually crash because I then flew it out of a tree.
The wings got damaged.
I broke one of the wings, but it continued to fly with that broken wing until I landed it. Then I found the broken wing.
Oh, really?
So technically, I have yet to crash the drone.
Okay.
But
it's just a little banged up.
No, it's fine. It's it's perfectly fine.
Oh.
The red-tailed hawk, though, still kind of freaked me out. I was flying it last night, and it was doing all kinds of weird stuff. Let's see. Oh, that'll work. Sorry, I'm doing other business as well. What was I going to talk about?
I don't know. I don't even remember.
Oh, Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
So
you said the diseased liberal mind when we get back.
Which is pretty
I'm
much
going to do two stories here. I'm going to do two stories. We'll take it to the top of the hour here. Harvard's Kennedy School of Government ignited controversy on Wednesday when they invited convicted spy Chelsea Manning, formerly Bradley Manning, to be a visiting fellow this fall. Less than 2 days later, the school rescinded the invitation. Why?
Pressure.
Yeah, like a lot of it. Manning was a former military intelligence analyst who was convicted of espionage and spent 7 years in prison for leaking classified government secrets. The school said in a statement Friday it chose to invite Manning because of its, quote, long-standing approach to visiting speakers is to invite some people who have significantly influenced events in the world, even if they do not share our values and even if their actions or words are abhorrent to some members of our community, end quote. Really?
Wow.
Are you going to invite a grand wizard of the KKK as a visiting fellow?
I doubt it. Where's David Duke?
I don't want them to invite David Duke or a grand wizard or Chelsea Manning. Let's invite someone who is going to further the intellect of your students at Harvard.
Right.
It's okay to invite someone who is going to challenge the status quo of education at Harvard. It's okay to invite someone who is going to advance the discussion.
Like Ben Shapiro, for instance.
Like Ben Shapiro.
Mark Levin.
Mark Levin.
Yeah, Mark
would
Levin.
Open up.
Yeah, he would.
And it doesn't have to be a conservative. Let's get all schools of thought in there. Let's not get a convicted spy, transgender convicted spy to be a fellow at Harvard.
Because you're honoring the criminality of it.
And can I just say, how sexist is Harvard? He became a she, and now she is a fellow. Oh, yeah. Didn't think of that, did you, Harvard?
We do have that. Don't know, do we? Do we? You should have did the rim shot.
Oh, hang on. I got to find it.
You got to find the rim shot.
No, that's not it. It's
do we
not.
even have it anymore?
Yeah,
no, that's.
Shut up, Wesley.
There it is. It's in the red.
No. Oh, I have a laugh track. I have that one. Why does my audio sound really loud?
I don't know.
Hey, you want me to turn it down a little bit?
No. Yeah, turn it down just a hair. In there.
No. Yes, okay.
The school also stated that, quote, engaging with people with fundamentally diverse worldviews can help us to better become public leaders. Yeah, not so much. I don't agree with that one either. Let's see. Also, because controversy pervades many questions in politics and public policy, some speakers are controversial. Yeah, that's why Antifa protests, because they want to shut down free speech.
Right.
Oh, did you see Antifa double down on the communism thing? Did you see that?
No.
Oh, I got to pull that story for you. Former Deputy CIA Director Richard Morrell resigned his post as a senior fellow at the school in protest of Manning's appointment during current CIA Director Mike Pompeo also canceled a scheduled speaking appearance in the school in protest of Manning. Douglas Elmdorf, Dean of Harvard's Kennedy School. I got a friend of mine who went to the Kennedy School. Yep, he now is a helicopter pilot in Hawaii. So much for that money. Explained the decision to rescind the fellowship in a detailed statement, which I'm not going to read. So, yeah.
Did you see how she responded, though?
No.
She said, honored to be the first disinvited trans woman visiting Harvard fellow.
Choke on a potato.
They chill marginalized voices under CIA pressure. She's saying, then she goes on to say, this is what a military police intel state looks like. The CIA determines what is said and is not taught at Harvard. Yeah. Personally, I wish, Leavenworth would have handled her, but that's just me.
Him.
Yeah.
By the way, for all of you listening, it doesn't matter what you change your personal appearance. Your genetics don't change. We haven't figured out how to change your DNA.
or your bone structure,
or any of that stuff, or your internal organs, or whatever.
There was a really good episode of that TV show Bones that dealt with this, and I was like, whoa, I can't even believe they did it scientifically, because that was pretty much a liberal kind of a show.
Oh, you mean liberals are science deniers?
Right. Well, in that
Sorry. We got to edit that part out.
Yeah.
You mean liberals are science deniers?
In that show, there was a transgender woman. They said it was a woman, and the dude said, by the bones, he's like, no, this is a guy. And she says, well, something is telling me otherwise. And he says, what's that? And she says, that's a vagina. So,
yeah.
But
dead giveaway.
Underneath the skin, the bones were male, and that's what they had to rule, that it was a male who had transitioned. So it was pretty good.
So one male who hasn't transgendered like us is Ben Shapiro. Loved Ben to death. Conservative commentator Ben Shapiro masterfully handled a student's claim that a first trimester fetus isn't human life.
Right, and the dude's argument was what I was like, what? They actually anyway.
All right.
Shut up, Wesley.
I'm just going to play you the audio.
Tell 'em.
I'm just going to play you the audio. Here we go.
First of all, I just wanted to thank you for coming as someone who is
Hang on.
left-leaning.
That's a little
I
low.
truly believe in freedom of speech, and I think that is a principle that
Well, thank you for coming.
all of
Turn me up in there a little bit.
So,
Go to Unity.
My question was about abortion,
Okay.
and I just wanted to know, why exactly do you think a first trimester fetus has moral value?
Okay, so a first trimester fetus has moral value because whether you consider it a potential human life or a full-on human life, it has more value than just a cluster of cells. If left to its natural processes, it will grow into a baby. So
Wait, I'm sorry, Ben.
that.
I'm sorry. You can't say that.
No, you
it's
can't.
a cluster.
It's not allowed.
It's a cluster of cells. It could be a Buick.
Don't call it a baby.
It could be a giraffe. We don't know until it decides for itself what
Right?
it is.
It doesn't even know if it's boy or
Come
girl
on,
yet.
Ben, you crazy right winger.
the question is, where do you draw the line? So you're going to draw the line at the heartbeat because it's very hard to draw.
You draw the line wherever we want to draw the line, and if that
There
line
is
isn't
no
very,
line.
if that line isn't good, we'll draw a new line.
There you go. Double lines.
That's liberal disease. I'm playing the, whatever.
More value than just a cluster of cells. If left
I'm
to
playing.
its natural
I'm
processes,
playing with Ben.
it will grow into a baby. So the real question is, where do you draw the line? So you're going to draw the line at the heartbeat because it's very hard to draw the line at the heartbeat. There are people who are adults who are alive because of a pacemaker. They need
Good
some
point.
sort of outside
Dick
force
Cheney.
generating their heartbeat. Okay, are you going to do it based on
Dick Cheney hasn't been alive for a while.
Right.
function? Okay, well, what about people who are in a coma? Should we just kill them? Right. The problem is, anytime you draw any line other than the inception of the child, you end up drawing a false line that can also be applied to people who are adults.
Thank you very much.
Yep. And that is the thing that frightens a lot of us in
Yep.
the world.
That's a very valid point.
Here's what he says. If you draw a line other than the inception of the child, right?
Right.
The child, okay, like, bam, zygote. Guess what that's going to be if left to its own devices? I've said this for years to people that want to fight me on the subject. I said, look, there is a perfectly natural way to terminate a pregnancy. Oh, my gosh. George is talking about terminating pregnancies. Yeah, it's called birth.
Right.
Just wait around. It's going to end itself.
Give it about 9 months.
Yeah, seriously. That is the natural way to terminate a pregnancy. The baby lives. Guess what, Mom? You're not pregnant anymore.
Right.
That's the end result of having an abortion
But
is not being pregnant.
My body will be all out of whack.
They can't stand the logic. If your intent is to not be pregnant, just wait a little while. Less than a year. And guess what? You won't be pregnant.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Or you could just, use
So
protection.
either human life has intrinsic value or it doesn't. I think we both agree that adult human life has intrinsic value. Can we start from that premise?
I don't know.
Earl?
Can we?
Yeah.
That's a trick question. He's trying to stump me.
Man, that's a tough one. Do I know any adults that don't have value?
I believe that sentience is what
Yeah, we're not talking about what you believe. We're talking about science, bro.
Right.
We're not talking about what you believe.
gives something moral value, not
Okay, so-
necessarily being a human alone.
Okay,
Because
So if sentience is this guy's argument, then no animal has any right to
Right.
exist.
Yeah.
None.
And
Right?
They should be vaccinated.
Well, what's the definition of sentience? Is it intelligence or is it self-awareness?
I think it's self-awareness.
Right. So animals are self-aware, therefore they're allowed to exist. He's saying that fetuses are not self-aware. You know, my dad used to make the joke that human life doesn't begin until you learn to speak. right?
Wow.
And of course, he was joking, right?
Right.
Making fun of that. Sentience? Huh. Okay. All right. Let me go back a little bit here.
What gives something moral value, not
Okay, so-
necessarily
Moral
not necessarily
value.
being a human.
I want to talk about that moral value for a minute. I love how he opened up. He started and he said, I believe sentience equals moral value. Let's just take out all of the words in between. And he's talking about what this individual, I believe sentience equals moral value.
Huh.
Right? So chipmunks have moral value. Worms have moral value. Squirrels have moral value. Dogs and cats and cows and chickens and horses. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, have moral value. But human babies do not.
But aren't they sentient?
Okay, so when you're asleep, can I stab you?
I'm still considered sentient when I'm asleep.
Okay, if you are in a coma from which you may awake, can I stab you?
Well then, no. I guess not. I mean, like,
I'm glad you answered that because I have no interest in actually murdering you.
But that's still potential sentience, and it's still a
Potential.
Like,
I agree.
like
It is
going to be
potential sentience. You know what else is potential sentience? Being a fetus.
Boom! Boom!
Love it.
Sit down, young man.
You're done. Go home.
Sit down.
Checkmate.
Yeah.
The issue I have with that, though, is that if I'm in a coma and I'm not like doing anything to anyone, I'm not causing any issues amongst the world. Whereas,
forget the medical bills.
I mean, yeah,
wait.
supplies.
Yeah, let him finish. Well, listen.
An unwanted child may or may not be a burden to people.
Wow.
There are lots of people.
Dude. He's in Berkeley. I can say dude. Bruh. I just want to speak Californian. There are hella people that would take that baby and not be a burden.
For real.
I forget they said that.
Can I just
They do say
say,
that.
I don't know, man. Dude, bruh. Like, hella parents would love that baby.
Yep.
That's the dumbest thing I've said.
That
I didn't know when I
actually-
woke up this morning I was going to say something so stupid. I know hundreds of people that would do nothing more than love that little burden for the next 18 years.
Right? I mean, my house is
than that.
packed, but I'll take another kid.
My
any day.
wife and I have already talked about it. I don't want an infant, but if the infant needs me,
Right. Yeah.
right? I don't need an infant in my life. But if I know it, that there's a lot of infants that need me in their life.
Right.
I hate the whole burden argument. It's probably because I'm plugged in. It's that one probably. They're and it's going to get worse. Yeah, live radio, baby. So I don't like the whole burden argument. It really,
that's their
really
strongest
bothers
argument
me.
is that it's a burden.
So,
to
but
the
look what
family.
look what he just did. But look what he just did. He just switched from sentience equals moral value. Now the moral value is a burden.
Right.
Hang on, let me finish this.
Lots of people's parents who are unwanted, right? We're a bunch of college students. The problem is that now you're shifting the argument, right? Before you were making the argument based on the intrinsic value of a life based on sentience.
Because they
now
can't.
You're talking about the level of burden that somebody presents as a separate moral argument. Okay? I don't believe that you being a burden on somebody is justification for them killing you, as a general rule.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even his thing back to the people in comas. I mean, that
Can I stab you?
technically is a burden to family members because they're seeing their loved one in a coma or whatever, but they still aren't going to want their loved one to be killed just because they're in a coma.
My father was dying of cancer. I got your attention now, don't I? And by the way, I've unplugged this, so it's not that. It's not whatever that yet. So
It just started, like-
So my father was dying of cancer. I moved him into my house with 3 young daughters and a wife who had to take care of him 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Let me tell you something. There is no burden.
Right. Well,
when you love that human being.
Right. I was just giving into their argument, trying to make
I understand, but I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to them.
To them.
You know, I'm talking
Okay.
to the listeners. You and I both know, if you're listening to this show, you know where we stand. I can't believe that someone would think of that, oh my gosh, here I had sex and now I'm pregnant. What a burden.
Right.
Who are you? Who are you? Go find those parents who can't have children. I guarantee you it's not a burden. right? I don't understand that. They want to talk about their morality and their moral high ground, and then they use words like human life is a burden, and in the same sentence talk about sentience being the yardstick for moral value. You have a brain disease.
Yeah.
You are illogical. You are a Berkeley student, so I already know you have a brain disease. And you try to tell me that a baby is a burden. Human life, and then you're arguing against the value of that human life, trying to say you know the value of human life
amongst everybody else, above everybody else.
Brain disease.
Yeah.
It's Earl and George. Head out on Facebook. Catch us on Twitter. If we're on Twitter, YouTube, and all the other ones. We're everywhere. It's Earl and George. You can go to earlandgeorge.com. Listen live. Download some episodes. Buy shirts and stuff. We'll be right back. Next hour, we'll get into the iPhone 10. And, of course, coming up, the douche of the week.
Yeah.
I just got a nominee. Just saying. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. You know, I help people solve difficult problems every day, but one problem has me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. Luckily, the Feeding America network of local food banks collects surplus food, giving hope to hungry children and their families. But they need your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hi, Mom. Is Claire's birthday party today? Me again, Mom. Where did I put my history book? Hi. Sorry, forgot one last thing. Sometimes it's hard to concentrate. At school, I start looking out the window, and then I forget what I was supposed to be thinking about. I know it seems like I don't care, but I do. It's just difficult for me. Love you, Mom. Bye.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive. Brought to you by understood.org and the Ad Council.
Mama always said that if you keep making that face, it's going to stay that way. You're listening to Earl and George.
That explains my face.
It's weird. It stayed that way?
Yep.
Are we one step closer to climate denial being illegal?
Wow.
Is that where we're going?
They're pushing for it. I know that.
A Canadian agency spent more than a year investigating 3 organizations accused of, quote, here's what they were accused of. Ready, America? Quote, denying mainstream climate science, end quote. I kind of do that all the time.
Right. Hey, you know, the whole climate thing was based on, there were 5 scientists that supposedly were with the governments of the world.
Yeah.
The new, not the New World Order, the World Court
You
system.
said it. It's true. It exists.
The Illuminati.
The Illuminati's coming, everybody. I hear black helicopters.
It's the
in
world,
whisper mode.
The World Court or the World Health Organization, whoever's over it, I forget who's over it, but they got 5 scientists, and out of those 5 scientists, there were 2 that said climate change was real. They ignored the other 3 and went with the 2 and posted that everywhere.
Here's the big question. The question is, and I've had this over and over and over, do humans influence the environment in which we habitate? Is habitate a word? Yes, in which we live.
I think we influence the environment.
Look around you.
Portion.
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Hang on.
School me.
Every time you drive on a road,
right?
You have influenced the environment, creating the road, cutting down a tree. You can't go camping without influencing the environment, no matter how much you pack out.
Right.
Humans intrinsically interact with the environment in which we live, which means we change it. We'll chop down trees. We'll build a house. We'll build a road to that house. We'll dig a septic tank, and we'll just go and go. As we move through human evolution on this planet, technological evolution, I don't want to get into that argument, but going from hunter-gatherers living in caves to agriculture to industrialization, we always, as a matter of being a human animal on this planet, we interact with our environment.
Right.
So do worms and cows and everybody, living things. interact with their environment. So when a liberal comes to me and says, you can't deny that humans put carbon in the atmosphere, I will say, no, I can't. That's exactly one of the ways we influence our environment. We also plant more trees than the environment does, okay? So, yes, we interact with our environment. Have we had an impact on our environment? Absolutely. The answer is absolutely yes. The problem comes in when you say, have we had an impact on a global scale to change the planet's climate?
No.
No one has shown me proof of that yet. What they've done is they have anecdotal evidence, not actual proof.
Right.
Well, a giant piece of Antarctica broke off. Okay.
Prove that it hadn't done it before.
The glaciers are melting. It's a cycle. Yeah. They come forward and they recede, right?
Just like hurricanes.
And I keep saying, it's like, look, humans impact our environment, absolutely. But you know what changes the weather patterns or the climate of the planet more than anything else in the universe?
The planet.
The sun.
It's
humans
hotter.
Humans are putting more ozone and putting this, and we're doing that. And do you remember when we were kids? It was the hole in the ozone's going to murder us all.
Yeah.
Right? President Obama, when he was, this is the moment when the seas began to recede.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Here's the other thing. Well, if the polar caps melt, the sea level's going to go up 25,000 feet. Well, no. Only if the Antarctic ice sheets melt will we see a rise in sea level.
Right.
Why? Because there's no land underneath the North Pole. It's already resting on water. Ergo, it's already pushing down on the water. And if it melts, it's not going to do anything. All you got to worry about is the Antarctic ice sheet, which is actually a continent of land covered in ice. It's just there's no logic. They can't get past the fact that, well, Al Gore said in a movie that we're all going to die. Al Gore also said in like 1987 that the seas they're supposed to be so high right now that the coastlines are going to be uninhabitable.
Yeah, Florida was going to be gone in like 10 years in California.
It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. And then what happens is when their predictions don't come true, that's why you don't make predictions. When their predictions don't come true, they're like, see, we told you so. They're like, wait, no, you told us the opposite. Yeah, but we were right. See? Told you. Well, it's getting hotter. Global warming. Well, the temperatures are dropping. Told you. Mini ice age.
Yeah, it was
like, oh my God.
We had a cold winter, and they were still saying it was because of global warming.
Everything now is because of global warming. Everything is because of...
We got rid of the Hummers. They said the Hummers were the problem.
Everything. Cow farts are now responsible for global warming. I mean, literally everything. And here's the one thing that really ticks me off about this. There are 192 countries. Look that one up. 192 countries on planet Earth. How many of them actually sign up for all of this global climate crap?
Yeah, not a lot of them.
Like 12.
195.
Tell me what Mozambique is doing to lower its carbon emissions, please. Tell me what the Republic of the Congo is doing to lower its cow fart emissions, please.
Didn't you say you've been to Honduras one time and that they sold Coca-Cola in like a bag? Like
it comes in plastic bags.
Yeah, so I mean,
it's highly recyclable.
Right.
But
no,
not even that. But it's
so close, man.
But I mean, they're not gonna have the resources or anything to even do anything about it, even if they wanted to anyway. So I mean, what's the point? I mean, there's no point.
It's all about global warming.
Global warming.
You big denier, you.
Out of the 195 countries, there were only 21 that wanted to do anything about climate change.
Thank you.
I'm not saying, because I think the climate's going to change no matter what, and if people are here or not, I mean, that's why there was the ice age. I mean,
yes.
And then
that was global warming.
Well, apparently,
yes,
even though we weren't here yet.
Right, that was totally carbon emissions from coal-powered plants caused the ice age.
Could you imagine a mammoth fart? How much?
Yeah,
that would
mammoth
have
farts.
exactly.
Mammoth farts caused the ice age.
Saber-toothed tigers,
Again,
kind of
we're gonna have a most popular show because we've talked about
mammoth farts,
iPhones and mammoth farts, and that's the kind of logic that you can't get around that level of stupid of mass destruction. You just can't.
That's pretty much like saying, seeing a space image of Earth and it's a globe, and then saying no, that's not right, it's flat.
Go look at the picture. It's flat.
There's a lot of people that are doing that.
Oh, the flat Earth thing. Oh,
the
my
flat
God.
earthers their movement is growing so much so that there are now 3 senators that are buying into it.
Well, you've got to be kidding
No,
me.
no, I don't remember what senators they were. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Oh no, we're gonna have to do a segment on that level of stupid. Oh, have you ever seen water bend?
Well,
that's what
you
ever seen water bend? Oh gosh. Seriously, there are people that what if you live in a pyramid? Give me a break, man. It's just ridiculous.
Live in a hut.
And I can't. I mean, I feel like I just bash my head against the wall every day trying to like change one person's mind. Right? And then I got to fight against the flat Earth people.
Yeah. By the way,
there might as well be mole people.
I mean, what happened? What happened to Christopher Columbus? Did he flip over? And like, I just don't.
Well, their explanation from it and how they believe why we don't like fall off the Earth and why we've never actually gone to space. If you actually watch some of these videos, the points that they are bringing up is actually pretty alarming. And there's this one that got this senator, this former senator Jay Rockefeller, involved, and it was a rocket that went up into the atmosphere and it hit something and it just stopped.
Get out of here.
That's the one that got people involved talking about
I
it
have
the most.
got to see that one.
I'll show you.
Can I just ask? Oh, and what's the other one? Well, all the pictures you see from space are from NASA. NASA's in on it.
Right.
Well, wait a minute.
They edit the stars out and everything. I love how we got on the flat Earth.
But only Earth
Earl.
is flat. All the other planets are round.
So wait a minute. So they're saying, because if I'm not mistaken, that if it went up in the atmosphere, they actually have to do a whole bunch of mathematical equations and formulas to get through the atmosphere, because there's only certain points where they can get through. So it's a possibility that if they didn't get the trajectory right, then it could have just stopped.
Well,
scientifically speaking,
the flat earthers are telling us that what we believe to be our atmosphere is not correct. They've
it's a solid.
Yeah, they've lied to us about what our atmosphere is. So.
I'm gonna have to watch this later.
Yeah. Okay.
So it has a camera on it.
It's not a solid, but I mean, there's still an actual with all the heat and all that stuff and the green.
Hitting in 3, 2, 1.
Bang.
See. But
what?
The point is, they say the rocket stops. The rocket doesn't stop. It's the camera. The camera levels itself out after it's been going up for so long, because the camera was freaking out.
Yeah.
The camera has now adjusted so that it can capture the pictures correctly.
Well, I have no idea what he just said because I kind of blanked out at how stupid that really was.
Right? Because they say the rocket never shows us space, which is why the atmosphere is a lie. So, anyway.
Well, all I know is they do have to do mathematical trajectory formulas to get out there.
Can we get somebody on the phone who actually believes this stuff? Can we get I want to get the smartest. I want to get the smartest flat Earth guy we can.
You mean kind of like that dude that was talking about the fetus?
Like Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro is not a flat Earth guy, guarantee it, because he's sane.
Yeah, no. No. The other dude.
He's a modern Orthodox Jew.
The other dude who was getting completely smashed.
Oh, the college student, Berkley college student.
Yeah,
oh, that's too easy. We actually need an educated person.
But see, that would be funny.
See what I did there? We're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're gonna talk about the new iPhone. I am an Apple fanboy. Even though the company is run by a gay dude, I got it. I'm beyond all that. Their products are still rock and roll. I understand they're all a bunch of flaming liberals. I get it. Their products are still, in my opinion, the best out there. Just say it. We'll talk about that. By the way, that's not a commercial for Apple. If you're an Android person, that's fine.
And another California saying is, it would be lit.
I would chop down. You're so extra.
I haven't heard that one, actually.
I would chop down so many trees to keep my iPhone powered. It's not kidding. We'll be right back. It's Earl and George, Aged Conservative Talk.
Ranger Station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yep, he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service Ad Council and your state forester.
Welcome back to the Cat Show. Up next, we have Nico. Nico is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right. A group known especially for their sunspot sleeping, ball chasing, leg rubbing, and of course, companionship. Just look how she struts.
It's like she owns the place.
And see how she curls up and cuddles her person.
The pitch on her purring is simply perfect.
Nice one.
Fantastic cat. But really the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Nico is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Smoother than aged whiskey and tighter than turn 4 at Talladega. Earl and George. By the way, George is the cute one.
And Earl's the wild one.
By the way, she does not subscribe to the flat earth theory because she's brilliant. Because she says I'm the cute one. Shaquille O'Neal's a flat earth guy?
Yeah, this is his quote. On the Flat Earth Society, by the way, it says, "It's true, the earth is flat, the earth is flat." So listen, I drive from coast to coast, and this bleep is flat to me. I'm saying I drive from Florida to California all the time, and it's flat to me. I do not go up or down at a 360-degree angle. And all that stuff about gravity, have you looked outside Atlanta lately and seen all of these buildings? You mean to tell me China is under us? It's not true. The world is flat.
So
That's
wait.
He's an official spokesman for the Flat Earth Society.
I got a point because this doesn't prove that it's.
They call him Dr. Shack.
They don't.
By the way.
This doesn't prove that it's round or not, but it still proves because he said he's going straight. He doesn't go up or down. Isn't there such a thing as sea level? And below, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's mean sea level.
Right.
So I mean, like, you can go up and down. So I mean, yeah.
But it's flat. The earth is flat because Shaquille O'Neal says so. I'm telling you, we could do an entire
I could
show
do an
with these
entire
people.
show on this.
Yeah. So I'll shut up now.
Absolutely, I could do an entire show on this. And I can actually prove the earth is not flat. That's going to take some math. Okay?
A lot of math.
No, it doesn't take a whole lot of math at all.
Really?
Yeah. But I can prove to you the earth is flat. I mean, round. And if you really wanted to go, really fun, let's drop a tether from the International Space Station to the surface. No, I'm not kidding.
Just watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just watch it. Do you think it would be a perfectly straight line, or would it be a curve? Very good, a curve. He said it to himself. It's amazing to me because
I don't believe the Earth's flat. I'm just saying I'm on your side.
There's I can't even believe these people.
Well, yeah, and then
we have gone. That's a Dark Ages theory.
Right.
Like, the Earth's flat.
So what you're saying is that we've gone back in time.
Look at all those ships falling off the edge. Right? There be dragons. I mean, literally, we might as well just bring up all of that stuff. Right? There is a sea monster. Okay.
Nessie.
No, like the Kraken, right?
Well,
what are some of the other ones?
Giant squids, but not necessarily the Kraken.
Oh no, man! It's the size of Texas. It's true, by the way.
Is. Oh, okay.
And the flat Earth people believe in that.
Right. There's the megalodon sharks and all
how
that stuff.
thick? If the Earth is flat, how thick is it?
Well, the artists that draw it like something you would see in like a sci-fi thing. It's a triangular shaped thing, and it gets
it's
thinner.
Flat though.
Yeah, but it gets thinner as it goes down.
Oh, so we live on top of like a conical thing?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's thinner on the edges.
Yeah.
How come nobody's ever found the edge?
Well, I don't. They say there's walls around the edges,
but nobody's ever found the edge.
No.
So those people that have actually circumnavigated the globe via boat,
right,
didn't find an edge.
And
nuclear submarines have gone under the ice pack across the northern pole of the country, the planet, and never hit an edge.
Well, because then they're buying into their whole conspiracy of how things are hidden from us and all of that good stuff.
Okay, how can we have identified the exact spot of the North Pole, right?
Right.
And the South Pole at the same time and never found an edge?
We got to ask a flat earther.
How come the higher up you get, the rounder and more spherical the planet looks?
Well, they actually had a pilot fly to prove that the Earth was flat, and he had a leveler on his plane to prove that he never dipped as he was flying around.
Okay, that's relativistic logic.
Right.
Right? That's the same logic that says the fly that's trapped in your car is going faster than your car when it flies from the back of the car to the front of the car at 60 miles an hour. The fly is now doing 70 miles an hour. That's called relativistic logic.
Right.
I've never heard of that.
Have you ever had a fly trapped in your car?
Well, yes.
When you're going down the freeway at 70 miles an hour, how fast is the fly flying? Why is the fly not smashed to the back window when you're going 70 miles an hour down a freeway? How can the fly go from the back window to the front window and you're already doing 70 miles an hour?
I don't think it's...
is the fly doing 80?
No. I don't believe so.
No, because it's relative to the fly. The air within the car is not doing 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, because if you throw him out the window, he's going to fly backwards.
Right. But the way that they're using that logic is the fly moving from the back of the window to the front of the window is doing faster than the car.
Logic.
Yeah, it's called relativistic logic. It's false logic. It's fake. Fake news. Okay.
Moving on
to the iPhone 10.
Which
Is
was
it really on the
revolutionary.
iPhone 10. They skipped 9.
They've got 8 and 10, yeah.
So they got the 8.
Which
Why?
by the way, I predicted that it was going to be called a 10, but I can't really say that I said that. So
They owe you money?
No.
All right, here's the deal. Here's the deal. I've had every iPhone. Ever.
I've had them all but the one. I didn't get the first one.
I got the first one the day before it came out.
Wow.
My wife and I had the iPhone 1 back when it was just known as the iPhone.
Yeah.
I got it. It was a mistake.
See, that's why I didn't get it.
And I had it shipped to the local FedEx, UPS, whatever. And then I went there and picked it up. They weren't supposed to release it to me until the following day. But I got it, and I'm out in my car, and I'm like, I'm taking the box off, and I'm like, oh, my God, it's the coolest thing ever. Right? So I'm like, honey, I'm calling you on the iPhone. I know. Where's mine? It's in the front seat. Oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God. It was like the greatest day ever. We've had every one of them, okay? I thought, because it got smaller and got smaller and got smaller, then it started to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I thought the 6 was good, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want to go 6 Plus. And then I decided on the 7 I was going to go Plus. And now the 7 is like the right size.
Yeah.
When I pick up a 5, which we use at the radio station, I pick up a 5 and I'm like, I feel like I'm going to break it. It's tiny.
Yep.
Like it's the size of this mouse. It's like the size of a computer mouse. But my iPhone 7 is now the right size for a phone all of a sudden. But when I had the 6 and my wife had a 6 Plus, I was like, that thing's massive. It's like an iPad, right? And then
the 7 Plus.
Boom, 7 Plus. But here's the deal. For me personally, I don't need an 8.
Right. Because it's just a 7S.
It's a 7S with glass on the back. It's all it is. Now wireless charging is cool. I mean, I'll grant you, but I don't need it. And the 7 does everything I need it to be. It's fast enough. It's got the right camera. It's got enough storage. It's got the right Wi-Fi. Everything. I like my 7.
They don't even have the wireless charging pads for it yet.
For the 8.
Yeah, they're supposed to come out next year sometime. So they're releasing a product that they can't even give you the adapter to charge it.
Well, I mean,
wirelessly,
until the new thing comes out, then all of their junk will be wirelessly charged. Which I'm not I don't really care, man. I'm so dialed in with the wires. I did have to go wireless on the iPhones, the headphones. Right. So if you got the AirPods, literally revolutionary.
And you're supposed to on their new, they're calling it Apple Power or something like that. You're going to be able to put your iPods on that to AirPods to charge.
But the big news, everybody, was not the iPhone 8. Whoop-de-doo. The big news was the iPhone 10.
iPhone X.
They call it the iPhone 10.
But
they've skipped 9, which means they're going to take the iPhone 8, turn it into a 9, and then that will be the end of the iPhone as we know it, because they're going to get rid of the SE.
Right.
This 5, 6, and 7, and 8 will all will all go away, and they will have the iPhone 9, the iPhone 10, more than likely. But what is your first impression, Earl? I mean, what? I saw your Facebook thing. What'd you think?
I like iPhone because of my day job. I have to have one, and I'm excited for what they're doing. But at the same time, when they were talking about the iPhone 10. They didn't really give me a whole lot of things that were revolutionary. Their chip, their processor is amazing.
Yep.
But
the
everything
A11 Bionic.
Everything that they have put into it Samsung has come out with at least 3 years earlier. And the only thing that I can see, and this is me just being really critical of it, is it's an emoji phone. That's the only thing to it.
Yeah, what he's talking about is they call it the Animoji.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really stupid.
Well, I mean,
What
I can
is it?
see your emoji when you're talking, you can actually talk and the emoji will move with your face.
Why would anybody over the age of 19
See, I
give
could
two
see-
squirts about
I
that?
could see kids using it, and I would do it jokingly, like to my wife. I would send the unicorn or even the poop emoji and tell her, that I'm feeling like crap, and send it to her that way.
See, I would just send a
Just
text
to
to
be-
my wife and be like, feeling like crap.
Just to be silly.
Right, but why? See, that's the thing.
I don't think it's a selling
That's
point. though.
not a
And
selling point at all.
And the biggest thing about the phone was supposed to be the facial recognition.
The OLED screen.
Which Samsung is admittedly pretty bad at the facial recognition.
Yeah.
I think it's an 8. And when I lift it up to my face, it doesn't automatically open like it's supposed to. And the iPhone glitched at the reveal, and he lifted it up to open, and it wouldn't open. It actually asked him for his password. He was like, "Oh," and I was like,
Let's
"Whoa."
go to the backup.
Yeah, that was bad on their stage for the phone to mess up.
Well,
that way.
it's
but it was because everybody had been handling the phone, and the phone kept trying to find the face, and it did exactly what it was supposed to. It was supposed to ask for your security backup. If too many people pick your phone up and look at it, the phone's not going to open.
Mhm.
And by I think it's like 10 or 12 people that look at it, then it's going to start requiring your passcode. So it did what it was supposed to.
Here's one of the major problems. The face recognition thing is cool, but you have to set it up by looking at the phone and then rotating your head around.
Right.
Yeah, see, my neck is going to be like, It's going to be like,
yeah.
Okay, I'm stuck. Like, to call a chiropractor, I'll be like halfway around the little circle.
I think it's a good start for Apple to finally catch up with Samsung, but I just don't think that it's worth $1,000 for mostly just an animated emoji. Because again, everything they've got, I can go get from Samsung for about $300 cheaper.
Yeah, but it's an iPhone.
Right.
And
It's a status.
I am not going to be getting one.
Right.
I am not going to be getting it. However, I will probably be getting an Apple Watch 3.
Yeah, so am I. I'm waiting for the thing to click where I can order it. So it's like, yeah.
Because they announced that as well, the Apple Watch 3, version 3. I was hoping that they would change the styling of it a little bit. Because all they've done is take they made it a little bit thicker, 2 millimeters. I think the body of it hasn't changed.
Right.
But man, did they put some tech in this little thing, didn't they?
And some impressive tech.
Yeah.
To actually, because the watch, I mean, they were kind of honest. Their watch hadn't sold the way they would want it to sell.
Even though it's the #1 selling watch in the world.
Right. But they wanted to reach, a certain amount of units or whatever, because Wall Street and everybody was talking about how it's been, quote unquote, somewhat of a failure in Apple's eyes. So they knew they had to go big with it, and man, did they. The SIM card, dude, when he was talking about what they did with the SIM card, I was like, are you kidding me? So that technology that they've put into the watch, when it makes its way to the phone, will be fantastic.
Well, the new watch. In fact, let me go pull that up. Some of the tech specs on the new watch.
I'm just looking at it. It's a gorgeous looking watch. The thing that I don't like is the red dot.
I don't like the red dot. What's with the red dot?
I think it's to set itself aside from cellular versus Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. Sorry. I think that's it's distinguished between the watch that I have versus the new watch.
I don't like the red dot.
Right.
Come on, Apple.
But the tech, dude, again, putting the antenna on the screen and making that part of the screen, it's, again, everything they did with the watch, I was completely
No
impressed
longer need your phone to make a cellular call.
Yeah, because what I
It
hate...
has its own, I guess it's a tethered SIM card or something.
Yeah, it's because he said you wouldn't need another number, so it's somehow connected to your cell phone.
Stupid red dot.
So,
it's the only thing that
you're
makes
saying you could leave your phone at the house and
Yep.
have the watch and still make a call?
Yep.
That's exactly
on
how
your
they did
phone
it.
number.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yes. Oh, it's
That's
crazy
cool.
good.
And listen to all the music that you've got on your phone. You
Yep.
can listen to it on your watch while you're jogging through your AirPods. Everything.
Mhm.
It's awesome. And Siri is actually more.
Wait, I'm sorry, who?
Siri.
Siri.
Siri. I'm too redneck for it to pronounce it correctly.
Hang on. Let's just try that. Hey, Siri. No.
Hey, Siri. Yep.
It speaks redneck, everybody.
Mine works. Oh, wow. I've got my iPad.
Oh, yeah. Everything just lit off in the radio station. I just don't like the red dot. Well, okay. They also came out with a new ceramic body. Now, they had the white one, which I was not very impressed with because it's just ugly looking.
Right.
It's like an off-white, what they call it, like elephant or something? Elephant tusk or whatever.
Malaysian. No, that's the Malaysian.
And now they have the black one, the black ceramic. And the base of this is, let's see, Hermes. Okay, it's the Apple Watch 3 edition.
Yeah, and it comes. The red is to show that it's between, because they released two versions. They've got the GPS, and then they've got the cellular, and they've got GPS plus cellular.
So the Apple Watch edition, the ceramic, which GPS plus cellular, $1,299.
Yeah, I'll be getting the black one.
Are you going to get the ceramic?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I've got the aluminum. You've got stainless steel.
Yeah.
Which one are you getting, Mr. Producer? He's like, Apple Watch free? I'm getting the Apple Watch, like...
Yeah, I ain't paying $1,000.
It's like...
If I was going to pay $1,000 for a watch, even though that's really neat, I'm not much of a tech guy. I'm more of a jewelry person, as you know. So I'd rather buy something like,
a Rolex.
Breitling, something.
Oh, Breitling. I'd go for Breitling. Yeah, I never liked that. I mean, the case is cool on the white one, the ceramic one, but the bands just don't match up with it very well. But now they've got the black ceramic, but it just looks like aluminum.
Yeah, but I'm torn because I don't know if I want to just get the new version of the one that I've got or if I want to go ahead and get
I thought you didn't like the
sport.
stainless.
No, I didn't like it because it looked like it was scratching.
Yeah.
When I first got it, when I was first talking to you about it. But if you get the little buffer thing that they recommend you get, then it cleans it right off.
So if you clean your watch, you lazy bastard. If you clean your watch, it's like... All right, so
but
I want the stainless steel one now.
And then what they did with Apple TV, too, I thought was nice.
Yeah, I'm not a big... I don't really care. Apple TV.
But yeah,
whatever.
I wanted the Pro, too. I wanted them to talk about the iMac Pro. But
Dude, did they get rid of the Apple Watch 3? Okay, GPS plus cellular.
Yeah,
okay,
or you
boom.
can get just the GPS.
Yeah, but where...
Okay, look.
Oh, wait, case material. Here we go. Stainless steel. Yep, that's the one I want. Yeah, so it's the same price.
Right.
So you get... So let me just understand this. You get the same watch in stainless steel with GPS and cellular for $600. That's the price of a regular stainless steel Apple Watch 2.
Right. Yeah, that's why I'm torn. I don't know if I want to go ahead and pay the $1,300 for one or not, or just get the one that I've got.
Should I stay black or go with the silver stainless? What do you think, Mr.
Silver's
Producer?
pretty good.
See, but I like the black.
I do too.
Are you going to trade your black one in?
Not probably going to give it to you.
What? No, you're not. That's a hot...
I gave away my Moto GP today.
I don't know what
my
that
Moto.
is.
Yeah, I gave away my Moto. What is it? Moto 360.
Yeah.
But no, the point is because I always like to look good, so it depends on how you dress. But if you had both of them, you could accessorize.
Well, that's why they got the different bands.
So the red dot is only the GPS plus cellular.
Right.
The GPS. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, looking at my watch now, I hardly ever see the scratches that I was telling you about. Well, there's one.
But I do like the shiny. See, the aluminum is just not. I'm definitely going
That's
stainless.
why I went and did it.
Definitely going to go stainless. When is this supposed to be out?
You can order it now, but it says it won't start shipping until the 22nd.
I got to do it. I got to do it.
Let's see what happens when I click on it.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. I did want the iMac Pro. I really wanted to because I definitely want one, but man, it's so much more computer than I think I really need.
The 42 millimeter watch is $649.
Oh, $650.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's just money. I'll print more of it.
Oh, the liberals hate us even more now.
We'll be right back. Don't forget, the douche of the week is coming up. We'll also talk about. Oh wait, where to go? Amazon. You want to talk about that a little bit?
What about Amazon?
You mean the new headquarters?
Deleting it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they were talking about a new headquarters.
Or we could talk about drones too. But not crashing drones into one I'm getting for Christmas. No, nothing. All right, we'll be right back. It's Earl and George. It's Age Conservative Talk. Go, Mr. President. You go, sir. We'll be right back.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, Let's Do Lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Smoother than aged whiskey and tighter than turn 4 at Talladega. Earl and George.
Well, all right. Black Lives Matter organized a protest around a Thomas Jefferson statue at the University of Virginia in Charlottesville on Tuesday. This comes just 1 month after a Unite the Right rally turned violent and left one dead. Anybody want to guess what happened?
Nothing.
Students and activists wrapped a statue of Thomas Jefferson, one of America's founding fathers and founder of the university, in black tarp and desecrated it with quotes. I got to plug in here. You ready? I got to have a better way of doing this because I think we're buzzing and doing all kinds of fun stuff. Plus, my program keeps like bailing on me because it's stupid. It's probably liberal. Stupid program. Quote, Black Lives Matter and quote, white supremacy, end quote.
Wow, really?
Around 100 protesters showed up with signs labeling him as racist and a rapist while chanting, "No Trump." Everybody, all together. No Trump.
No
Trump.
Trump.
No KKK. No racist
US.
UVA.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
UVA President Teresa Sullivan condemned Black Lives Matter and the attack on the statue in an email sent out to parents. See some of the comments. Any good comments in here that we can talk about? We got to make people famous. Also in the news, big Equifax.
Yeah, that was huge, and so much so that Congress is getting involved now to look into it.
As a former cybersecurity guy, this is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it's huge
because it affects everybody.
Yep.
It affects literally every human being in the United States with a Social Security number and credit. Equifax, the credit reporting agency that announced a major data breach last week. Here's the problem. When did the data breach actually happen?
Years ago.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing about cybersecurity, people. If they announce the breach now, they have so long to announce it after it's discovered, but they actually don't know when it happened.
Wow. That's frightening.
So on March 7th, the Apache Software Foundation released a patch for the vulnerability that Equifax has confirmed caused the breach. But the vulnerability and the patch were widely known within the industry.
Wow.
It's called it's 0 day.
Huh.
The breach itself began in May with exposure continuing to July. Equifax discovered the breach July 29th. Equifax announced the breach affecting approximately 143 million customers on September 7th. Luckily, my credit's crap anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Right.
Equifax data compromise was due to Equifax's failure to install security updates provided in a timely manner, end quote.
And
so what do we get out of it?
Yeah. Are they going to be facing fines or something? And I don't even know where to start with it. I got too many questions.
Here's the interesting thing. There's three sides to cybersecurity, okay? There's integrity, there's availability, and the confidentiality. Okay, those three things, it feels the pyramid of data security. You want to have your data secure for integrity, but you still want it available to people that have access to it, right? But you want to keep a certain level of confidentiality, right?
Yeah.
Hence, it's secure. When you have a breach, you lose reputation and money. Those are two things you lose when you have a breach. I want to know, other than reputation, what is Equifax going to face? Like you said, fines?
Yeah. I think that's why Congress is getting involved, because they're going to levy them
Yep.
with stuff.
Okay, here's one of the questions. How is Equifax handling this so far? Here's the article written by Aaron Colin. Not particularly well so far. Company has been overwhelmed by requests by customers to freeze their credit. which temporarily knocked the system offline Wednesday. No one with Equifax has yet responded to questions about why the patch wasn't implemented in March. Quote, we know that criminals exploited a U.S. website application vulnerability. The vulnerability was Apache Struts CVE, and that's a document for security. We continue to work with law enforcement as part of our criminal investigation and have shared indicators of compromise with law enforcement, the website reads. It's also important to remember that 3 Equifax executives sold millions of shares in the days following the discovery of the breach, months before it became public.
Wow.
Equifax is now facing at least 23 class action lawsuits resulting from the breach. Massachusetts Attorney General plans to sue Equifax for violations of consumer protection laws. Federal regulators are investigating Equifax's fault in the breach.
Dude.
But hey, let's get the government involved in health care. What could go wrong?
Right. Which,
socialize our medicine. They've done it to our economy. What could go wrong?
Speaking of, they're pushing that one-payer system pretty heavy now.
Yeah. What could go wrong?
Oh, my gosh.
It's I work in, I'm former cybersecurity, but I have to keep up on cybersecurity now because I deal with PHI, which is public personal health information. This is PII, personal identifiable information, which is the Equifax breach. Now, your Social Security number and all of your personal data. You ever gone to a loan, or even better yet, you don't have to go to a loan. You know the new Delta thing, the Clear?
Yeah.
Right? You know they pull your credit.
For what?
Verification. So you stand at the little kiosk, right?
Huh.
You slide your card in there. They scan your ID. They take your fingerprints.
Yeah.
They do all this information. Then they go out and they ask you those 3 soft verification questions from your credit report. And there's like 5 addresses and which one of these is associated with you. And it was a house that I had in Delaware that I sold like 10 years ago. And I'm like, Lockwood Chapel Road. That sounds good. And I click that one. And it's like they got it off my credit report. That stuff's still out there.
Wow.
Right? So even that, signing up to get through airport security
quicker
is all tied into that. Imagine what happens with your personal health information.
Dude.
They can't even secure that. Right. And they want us to give them everything. And we already do. The amounts of information that these giant companies, and forget the companies, the government has on each and every one of you. Here I go up the crazy tree. Everybody get your tinfoil pyramid hats ready.
But people are worried about their iPhone listening to
exactly.
them. It's retarded.
And that was one of the things we were going to talk about, the iPhone X. They're like, oh, my gosh, this is invasion of privacy. You have no privacy.
Right.
And if you don't believe me, go to Amazon, search for a specific kind of drone. I mean, be very specific, like Inspire 2, right? Or
right.
DJI Phantom Pro. Right? All you got to do is do one search, close the browser, come back an hour later, load up your favorite website. I guarantee you the ad you're going to see is going to be for the exact thing you searched for.
Yeah.
And you and I both know how that happens.
Right.
Google is totally watching everything you do online. Everything. I'm looking right at him, too. Look, I'm looking at Mr. Producer. He's like, mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Everything.
Well, even, and can I point out, like, when I, this job that I just got, this other job.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a real job, everybody.
Yeah. But the whole point is, when you're setting up an account, they say, what's your password? And the manager, whatever, is like, don't do that. Just ask the security questions. Well, it says, what's the age range of your mother? Like, it'll give you multiple choice, and it'll be like, so, and it's like, okay, which address are you affiliated with from, like you said, like 10 years ago?
Those are credit questions.
Yeah. So, they know everything. I mean, if some of the questions were like, it was scary.
But I thought Apple fixed the whole Google following you on their new MacBooks and everything.
No.
The new Safari is supposed to kill that.
No.
They even announced it. They said that wow, really?
Not at all. Still happens to me all the time. Yep. Because I spend half my time on Amazon spending all of your tax dollars. No, I'm just kidding. I get bored, so I'm like, oh, let's go buy a sword. I mean, seriously, that's my life. I'm just going to go buy some dump. Why would I Google a popcorn machine?
Right.
Guess what the next ad I see? It's for a stinking popcorn machine. and they know all of it. And I ghost, man. I mean, I'm pretty good at cybersecurity and hiding my information, but there's nothing you can do. There's all these tracking cookies and like every single browser you're on, all of that stuff. They are watching everything you're doing. So just understand it. And if you understand it, you can kind of fight against it, but there's not a whole lot you can do because you got to use the internet. You know, we talk about...
There was a time before the internet.
Well, you know, you talked about, what's his name? Cook, CEO of Apple, was talking about the iPhone. He was going into Steve Jobs, got a little emotional, boo-hoo.
Right. He got a lot emotional.
But he started talking about the iPhone, and the reality is this device actually did revolutionize our culture.
Yeah, it did. And
now,
technology.
Now, whether it's for good or ill, it's still being, I think it's ill.
Well, it's still, either way, if it's good or bad, it's still, I mean, a great accomplishment either way. I mean,
right,
because, I mean, I hate to say that good or bad.
So was the nuclear bomb, though.
But, I mean, exactly my point.
So.
You remember the guy, you know who invented TNT?
His name is escaping me, but I've read his story.
You've heard his name before.
Yeah.
It's Alfred Nobel.
Yeah, the same guy that did the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah. And he said when he invented trinitrotoluene, which is what TNT stands for. Yeah, I'm smart, everybody.
There you go.
When he invented it, he wrote a quote later, and he said, "This was the worst thing I've ever done in my entire life."
Yeah, because that's all he'd be remembered
yep,
for.
because everybody knows that TNT is what kills people. But is the iPhone, in my opinion, is one of the things that has killed human activity. It's killed interpersonal skills. My niece, I don't know, she's like 20. She gets trolled by people who want to date her. Dude. Hey, do you have a BF? No, I don't. She said something. She just smarts off to him. She's like, no, I gave one up at 7 or something, you know. Like, can you send me a picture? So she sends him a picture of, like, Patrick Swayze, right?
Right.
Yeah, she does it all the time.
Rick roll.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, it's the douche of the week. We'll be right back, everybody. Go out to Facebook and Spreaker. Like. If it says like, click it. If it says share, click it.
Says follow?
Says follow, click it. Seriously, just, I mean.
Apparently, once again, from your words, if it's the like button, hit it an odd number of times.
Hit it an odd number of times. And by the way, we don't have any ads.
Right.
So we're not gonna spam you when you're out there. We'll just do it on the radio. It's called like baiting, and I could care less whether you don't like it. How about that? It's my show. It's Earl and George. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to The Cat Show. Up next, we have Nico. Nico is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right. A group known especially for their sunspot sleeping, ball chasing, leg rubbing, and of course, companionship. Just look how she struts.
It's like she owns the place.
And see how she curls up and cuddles her person.
The pitch on her purring is simply perfect.
Nice one.
Fantastic cat. But really the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Nico is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Chris, you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
There's your comic book collection, the race car bed.
I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I'm taking control over my financial life, and that feels pretty grown-up to me.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1,000,000. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org. Are those footy pajamas?
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Hey, you, over yonder. You're listening to Earl and George.
I could have swore I saw an article about Imran Awan.
Yeah, you did, because he says he's flipping.
Yes!
Yeah.
Last week we talked about the laptop that he stashed for the cops to find.
Yep.
And now he says that he's turning state's evidence?
Yes.
Yeah.
He says he's willing to testify. He's going to flip against everybody.
Yep.
Which is going to be interesting.
Oh, my. I just hand me the popcorn, baby. Yep.
If you think Google know you want the popcorn?
Here it is. IT specialist Imran Awan worked for Debbie Wasserman Schultz for 13 years.
Wow.
Since she was first elected to national office in 2004. She only fired him after he was arrested. And she didn't actually fire him after he was arrested. She fired him after he was indicted.
Right.
Okay? Awan brothers, blah, blah, blah. Pakistani brothers, blah, blah, blah. Started working. Yep. Let's get down to the good stuff. I got to get down to the bottom here. Where? Oh, my gosh. Where is it? Capitol confirmed Wasserman Schultz's laptop was found in a phone booth
Wow.
at 3 a.m. with a note.
Wow.
with a note to U.S. Attorney attached from Imran Awan. And that's not the story of him. Man, I can't wait. Turn state's evidence, please. You are the quintessential person who needs to be in the witness protection program.
Yes.
Now, granted, you're a Pakistani spy. We all know it. But the things that you have done to the Democratic Party, oh, my gosh. Seriously. It's just, I can't wait for this to come out. Okay. It's that time of the week. We don't have a fancy intro yet, but we're going to. It's going to be something, it's going to sound something like this. Dun, dun, ah! Do we have, we could just, hey, let's just.
No, because that's not.
Hey, let's violate somebody's copyright information.
Let's not. Oh, God. Not that one. No.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the douche of the week. I'm sorry, probably going to get sued now.
Yeah, thanks.
The lawsuits are being filed. It is time for the douche of the week, where we pick the douchiest person we can find.
How many
and give them an award.
Are on today's list?
How many people are on today's list? We will start with Mr. Producer, who has had 1 hour and 50 minutes to come up with a well thought out douche of the week. Mr. Producer.
I'm still going to go with Kanye.
Excellent choice. Kanye West, our token douche.
Okay, yeah.
Congratulations.
Next week, I swear I'm going to find something that's going to blow your mind.
You've said that for 8 weeks now.
No, I haven't. No, I've never said that.
I'm going out on a limb. I'm going out on a limb. I'm going to go with Kanye next week.
No, I swear. I swear on my life.
Earl?
I got 5.
Oh, my God. Have there been 5 douches this week?
Yep.
Okay, good.
I've got Snoop Dogg, which I was talking to Mr. Producer about. He says he's leaving the country because he can't live in Trump America. He's moving to Canada, where pot is still highly illegal, by the way. I've got the California state legislator who is trying to pass a law changing the HIV. If you knowingly inflict somebody with HIV, they're trying to change it from a felony to a misdemeanor.
What?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and they're saying that having this law, having HIV having it as the felony is discriminatory.
How?
So
that's like giving a death sentence, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, like,
and that's the reason it's a felony. But,
exactly.
They're saying that it's discriminating because people with HIV have to have more care than those with, like, chlamydia. So, therefore, they are discriminating against the people that have HIV. The scary part is it's already been approved by the California legislative. It just needs to go to the governor to be signed. So, they are actually going to change the fact that if you knowingly infect somebody with HIV, it's no longer a felony.
Hopefully,
that's why you don't have sex with people. Don't have sex with people in California. New rule.
And then
new rule of the show. No sex in California.
Hillary Clinton, because she won't stop crying about her
Oh
loss.
God, I saw this.
And she's blaming everyone. She's
blaming,
up to 42 people that she is blaming.
Wasn't it
herself.
sexism last? What was this week? This week was
She blamed. Oh God, I took a picture of it.
Because whatever. Okay, Hillary Clinton. She should be our token.
Yeah, and then Bernie Sanders and a few members of Congress who are pushing the single health care payer plan, even though it's been rejected by California, New York, and Vermont, which is where Bernie Sanders is from. And then my last
didn't he say years ago that single payer was the worst system?
Yeah,
that
he
you
said
could,
it would actually bankrupt the
country.
bankrupt
it.
And then ESPN for being hypocrites.
Because of the whole the president thing.
Yeah, because they won't fire her because of affirmative action, but they fired Schultz, or not Schultz.
Wait, this is a different story. Because I was told, like, they always have the president who does the Sweet 16 or whatever. He does his pick.
Right.
But now because Trump's president, they're not going to do it anymore.
Yeah, but I was
they don't
want
to politicize.
I don't know how to say her name. Jamel Hill.
That's close enough. You got it the first time. Probably a dude.
She's a. She did a
transgender
Twitter thing where she said that
you almost
Trump,
said tranny.
All of this stuff about Trump, about him not being worthy to be president and saying things that he should be removed from office and all this stuff, which Kurt Schilling said almost the exact same thing, and they fired him immediately. They didn't fire this chick, and everybody's saying if they fire her, they're going to protest ESPN. So those are my picks.
I've got 2 this week. I stopped at Bernie Sanders because whatever. I got 2 this week. Anthony Weiner faces up to 10 years for showing his wiener.
To a teenager.
He was sexting a teenager.
Wait. So is his name really Wiener?
His name is Anthony Weiner.
And he showed his wiener.
Yeah. And he texted his wiener to
That's ironic.
And his wife was Clinton's top aide.
Uma Abedin is the name you're looking for. Clinton's top aide.
The poor girl that he sent it to, she said on TV, she was on like 60 Minutes or something, she said, I knew it was going to turn bad when he said that I was attractive. And I'm like, How bad is your
Dude,
esteem to think that?
How bad do you want to interview that poor girl and be like, how much did you have to zoom in? Be like, he sent you a picture of his wiener. Yeah.
Yeah, Anthony Weimer's
you just had to keep. You just had to keep zooming in to.
He's a
never
douche.
mind.
He's a douche.
Definitely douchey, Anthony Weiner. But it looks like he's going to go now, face up to 10 years in prison. We'll see if that happens, and we'll be doing cheetah flips if it does. But I have one that takes the cake, guys.
Really?
Yep. Celebrity chef Anthony Bourdain. You know that show? Anthony Bourdain, he does that show like no reservations or whatever it is. He's whatever the name of the show is, where he goes around the country eating, or the world eating stuff. God, I can't remember the name of the show. Anthony Bourdain. He said they got at TMZ, got him on camera. I'm trying to find the actual quote, but they basically said that he would feed the president poison.
I did hear about that. No reservations is the show.
Is that it's no reservation. Chef's comments beg the question: why hasn't the response to his rhetoric reached a fever pitch yet? Like when Kathy Griffin posted a picture of the bloody trumpet. Yeah. So if you're out there and you're a celebrity chef and you say something like, "Oh, I'd feed the president poison," or whatever, because I hate the president, that doesn't rise to the level of holding up a severed bloody head. I mean, I'll just be honest. But he's a douche.
Yeah, it's douchey.
Kathy Griffin should be our douche because now she's back to not caring, and she said she's going to do it again, and yada yada yada. And
well, see, I'm a little bit different on that particular one, because if they were saying that it was art cannot be discriminated against by the First Amendment, regardless of how vile it may have been. So,
well, that's free speech. The word art does not show up in the First Amendment.
Right,
what you're talking about
yeah.
is freedom of speech. That's why Anthony Bourdain can say, "I'm going to feed the president poison because I hate the president. He's a douche."
He didn't directly say he was going to kill the president.
He didn't say he was going to kill the president. He said it right. But and frankly, holding up a severed head of the president of the United States is stupid.
Yes,
okay, we know this, right? But who cares? I mean, it's not the severed head of the president.
Right.
However, had someone held up the severed head of Obama, they would literally have been killed by now.
Right.
They would already have been murdered in the streets.
Or if they'd have wrapped a rope around it, it would have been
Oh,
worse.
my gosh. I mean, again, this president is facing things that I don't think and they talked about.
So much hate.
And they talked about Trump. Like when Obama was first elected, the liberals were like, never has a president been so mocked and attacked. And now I look back and I'm like, yeah, people said some mean things about Obama, but
yeah, they did.
Nothing to the level of this guy.
Right. But it's pure hate for him.
And I've always been one, like, look, I will not disrespect the office of the president. I never attacked the president personally. I always attacked the president politically.
Right.
It was about his policy, not about him being a good father. I never talked about Michelle being a dude. I never talked about his kids. I did
being
talk about
adopted.
Now, I did talk about them when they were out smoking weed and getting drunk. Now, I did talk about them. But, like, I never talked about the man's faith. Oh, he's a Muslim. No, see, that's not what we talk about. We talk about policy. We talk about politics. But now, because the pendulum has swung, I can honestly say I have never seen a president of the United States so mocked, so ridiculed, so hated.
Right. And this is after President W. Bush.
Yeah.
George W. Bush.
And yet the liberals are the ones like, we would never do this to a president of the United States. You conservatives hate Obama because he's black.
Right.
No, I didn't like Obama because of his policies. Was he a good father? I sure hope so.
So who's the douche of the week?
Oh my gosh, it's a great question.
Once again, we've
I'm voting. Man, ooh.
I'm gonna say
I got to go with
ESPN.
Kanye. No, I'm kidding. Dude, that's a tough one, man. What do you think, Earl?
Bourdain saying that he's going to or that he would like to feed the president poison is pretty douchey, but I don't know. California legislator on the HIV thing is pretty pushing it too.
But you expect it from them.
Well, but that's crazy. Anyway, to take away,
Mr. Producer,
I honestly think the ESPN thing because.
Yeah,
because that seems more douchey. The HIV thing just seems evil in a way. Like that just seems like.
Well, that's what they're supposed to do. The California politicians are supposed to do that nonsense.
Yeah. ESPN for which one? For what I said or for what George said about the not doing the Sweet 16 pick?
No, about what you said.
Oh, okay.
Oh, about firing Kurt Schilling because of what he said, but not firing Jamila.
Yeah,
blah, blah,
yeah.
Blah.
Hill, yeah, and she did almost the exact same thing. The difference is Schilling is white, and I hate to say it this way.
Didn't she
but
call him a
Schilling
white
was-
supremacist or
Yeah,
something?
and
Yeah.
she said that he
That's what
is
I'm gonna go
unfit
with.
for office and all of that.
All right. So you think ESPN? What do you think, Earl?
I'm gonna have to say ESPN.
All right. So this is the first time we haven't had a unanimous.
Who are you
thing.
gonna go with?
I'm going with Hillary Clinton just because I can't stand her face.
So
A new token.
So congratulations, everyone at ESPN. Yeah. Congratulations for your double standard, along with this week's trophy from the Earl and George show. From the Earl and George show, we are going to give you what?
A trip to the White House.
To cut the grass.
We're gonna anger management classes. We're gonna give you a
Political
dictionary,
science.
a dictionary for you to look up the term racism.
Right.
It's Earl and George, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm gonna go drink some moonshine.
Babies
Seriously,
aren't
that's it.
burden. Babies are not burdens.
Babies are not burdens. Babies are not burdens. And Mr. Producer, buttons aren't toys.
You sure about that?
We'll be back next week. I think. Will you be? I'll be here. We'll figure it out. Next week. Share it to everybody you know. We love you. Get out there and do something nice for someone you don't know. Earl?
Have a good one.
Mr. Producer?
Have a good one. Or sign out. What? You put me on the spot?
See you next week, guys. Peace.